Alright, here's a video review for Ocular Max Remix RMX-10 Motif and RMX-12 Pitch, aka Rewind and Eject. I apologize if you hear my washing machine, my dishwasher going behind me in the background. It was on a timer and started as I started shooting videos tonight. I already cleared off the review space and I'm working, so we're just going to have to live with it and hopefully it won't be too bad. These are obviously they're part of their real life-size cassette. I realized they were micro cassettes in G1, but come in a plastic case. They do the same thing that their Steel Jaw did that I'm not thrilled about, and that the case, the instructions wrap around the inside instead of looking like the liner notes of the cassette, which I really liked on their Ravage. However, this time they do slide in, and so you can actually still keep them in a nice, convenient package. It's just kind of a shame that they're not inside the cassette. I get it. I just would have liked to see it. Very basic instructions. They're not super difficult. You get a little bio card with each of them. You also get some alternate heads. There's a couple alternate configurations, and we're going to show off. I'm only going to do one on each one because there's like there's different heads. They come with a more G1 cartoon-looking head, and you can screw on a for Motif here. You can see there's his red-faced kind of G1 looking head in the baggie, and then he comes with three other various expressions, like a shocked expression, a neutral expression, and a happy expression. More modern looking head. They both come with that. Pitch has the G1 head. Motif has one of the more modern heads or more detailed heads swapped into it. You've also got some different shoulder pads that can attach. We'll go ahead and put those on Motif. They can't fit in the cassette mode, but they go on after the fact. They also come with weapons separately, but the weapons do, as you'll see, store in the cassette mode, which is kind of cool. And they're die-cast. They've got some nice heft to them. We're going to go through the transformation. I'm going to get them both out here. But we're going to go through the transformation on one, and then we're just going to kind of snap our fingers and do the other one off camera just to save some time here in the review. But like I said, the cassettes, the bio cards are slightly different, but the instruction, the artwork on the cassette thing, but the instructions are the same for both of them. They're essentially the exact same figure, just different colored. So yeah, there they are side by side. And we'll go ahead and we'll do the transformation here on Motif. So you can see the guns kind of store inside what will become the legs here. And when I first opened them, I'm like, oh man, it's kind of a shame you can't store the weapons in the cassette so they're all one piece. And it turns out you can. So hooray for that. So basically you come down here and you just want the legs come off like this and then extend down like this. And start to come up like that. And rotate them around to the front. You can do this in any order, but and then these panels right here open up to the side. The gun has two tabs on either side of it. I think I've got their guns swapped actually because these are blue, and yeah, they're supposed to match. I've got Motif's guns in, or I've got Pitch's guns inside Motif and vice versa, but we'll fix that because they are supposed to match. But then these panels come around and hide the cassette bits, while the knee bits come forward to form the legs here. And then there's a little, before you close these all the way up, there's the foot right here, and then there's these two little panels that are there. They're a little frustrating sometimes, but they fold in to form, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, because there's an ankle tilt as well in play, so you want to make sure you do them at the same time, because otherwise they will kind of tilt into each other and make it harder to do. But flip them around like that. You got little hip skirt covers that can fold down. They actually fold up like that, and they fit into a slot here in the leg when it folds up. So you fold that down. And same thing over here, pop the guns out. Again, we'll swap those out here when we do the transformation so they match properly later. Fold these little panels. This is the only part of the transformation that I'm not a big fan of. It's not super annoying, at least going to robot mode. Going back to cassette mode, it can be a little bit of a pain to get those up. But they're for the posability of the robot versus the flatness of the cassette, the transformation is actually less annoying than some. And then the arms come down like this. You flip these little panels around onto the forearm like that. This panel folds up like that. This panel opens up, and you swap the fist around fold it down, and just bring it kind of down and around on the, extend the elbow down like that. Same on this side, bring the arm down, fold these panels around to the forearm, flip this panel up, open up this panel right here, and there's the fist, and then fold it up. The fist does open, the fingers themselves open, but it's one solid piece there, and he has a little separate thumb. Yeah, bring the arm down, bring it down. You want the piece you folded up with the line here in the front, and then on the back panel, you just fold the two back panels down, and then you fold the two chest panels down, and there is the robot mode. Now, the robot mode is actually very posable. Like you can see, you got dual hinge shoulders, you got a bicep swivel, you got nice posable elbows, you got a wrist swivel, you got the opening fingers, has an ab crunch right there, has a waist swivel, ball joint at the neck, dual hinge hips, a thigh swivel, really posable knees, you can fold them all the way up like that, a posable toe, and there's even some ankle tilt there. So some really nice design and posability here. One of the complaints I do have in robot mode is that these panels that fold down, they don't click anywhere or really lock into place. They're just kind of, because they oppose each other, kind of stay in place. It's very easy to knock his pecs and his they're not traps, but his back muscles around. So yeah. And then, like I said, this is the standard thing. Again, he's got the more modern head, or the more detailed head, I guess. And then there are shoulder panels that are, if you get these on, they can be a pain to get off without just popping this whole piece off. But they can slide on if you want to give them more of a more enhanced shoulder pad, like that. But yeah, it's just a slightly different look. Personally, I think they look fine without the shoulder pads. And like the shoulder pads, since they cannot transform, they're just extra pieces you'd have to carry in cassette mode. One of the things I like about these is I love the idea of just tossing them in the case and carrying them around as a cassette that turns into a transformer. And having to carry, like the weapon storage, great. The fact that you would have to carry extra shoulder pieces around, I don't think they enhance the look enough to bother with that hassle. And as promised, here is Pitch in his robot mode. Again, he's got the head that comes on them. The only difference between the two heads is obviously MOTIF has a red face, Pitch has a yellowy orange face. But that's the difference between the two of them. Again, non-attached shoulder pads versus the attached shoulder pads doesn't make it does make them look visually distinct, but I don't know if it's enough of a visual distinction from the plain one if you're just messing with them to carry the extra pieces around if you want to carry them around as cassettes. The weapons, you can flip this little panel out. You can flip this out, and they can be held in the hand. And again, they just kind of friction peg in. There's no like slot or anything like that. They just go right into the hand hole. They also, if you don't flip that peg out, there's a square peg here that pegs into the back plate. So if you want to have them, like the old G1 cassettes, if you want to have them store on the back, you can. So yeah, there's MOTIF with the back guns. We'll go ahead and give Pitch the handheld version just to show you. Again, show off a couple different dynamics here. Like I said, I really like that they turn into like old school full size cassettes, even though I know they're supposed to be micro cassettes, whatever. But I just think it's a neat gimmick, and the fact that they've gotten so many cool figures out of that idea. Steeljaw ended up being really good. Of course, the Jaguar, the first one they released, was fantastic right out of the gate. Just to give you here they are with Studio Series Core Class Rumble, just to give you an idea of how they compare with some of the modern cassette figures. But like I said, they're about 5 inches tall, 4.5, 5 inches tall, and they're just a lot of fun. MOTIF's probably going to be the one I carry around with me, just because, again, Rewind is a character that I'm more connected to, partly due to the comics, even though it's not the one from the comics. I just have more of an attachment to Rewind than Eject as a character, so he'll be probably the one that I carry around with me. But nice little figures from Ocular Max. It is RMX-10 MOTIF over here, and RMX-12 Pitch over here. Nice little cassettes, fun little toys. superposable for turning into a cassette. Definitely check them out. If you've been collecting the line, they're great additions. I think they're some of the stronger figures in the set that they've put out. I'd love to see them do a Rat Bat. Just putting that out there, Rat Bat, please.